What's up everybody? Welcome back to yet another tutorial video. Today we're gonna touch on how to improve your aim, not only in Warzone, but also all the other FPS games. So let's go. Okay guys, so if you don't know me already, I'm Sven and I also go by the name of Nevs. I stream Warzone every Monday to Saturday, and today I'm gonna give you some basic tips and tricks on how to practice and improve your aim, which will make you win those gunfights and raise your KD. So tip number one, and which is probably one of the most crucial one, the settings. Now if you're a controller player, you might want to skip this part as I'm not going to talk about controller settings as I'm not a controller player myself, but I'm sure those other tips will definitely help you. If you've seen professional FPS players, you will see that they all have something in common. They all have a low sensitivity. Now why is that? This is because they can make pinpoint precision movements with their mouse using their whole mouse pad. So if you've seen all those huge mouse pads and wondered why they're actually so big, it's because they were specifically designed for these FPS players as they make huge movements with their mouse and utilize their whole mouse pad. Now how low is low? I think in general, you want to be able to make a whole 360 when doing one swipe of your whole mouse pad. Let me show you real quick what I mean by that. So what I mean by making a whole 360 while utilizing your whole mouse pad, let's say I'm facing here. If I'm gonna utilize my whole mouse pad, like in one swipe, I wanna be able to do a whole 360. So let's try that. I'm gonna move my mouse here, just for example, and I should be able to do more or less a whole 360 while doing a whole swipe of my mouse pad more or less. So let's try that out. So as you can see, I almost did a whole 360 while utilizing one swipe of my whole mouse pad. I guess I'm at around 270 degrees. But in my case, or most of the cases, you don't really need to make a whole 360. So at the moment, I think my sensitivity is fine. Now, how can you change your sensitivity? Usually, there's two options for that. One way is to change your DPI on your mouse. Usually, there's a button for that on most gaming mouses, which in my case is this middle button right here. Or you can go into the specific software of your mouse, like in my case, the Logitech G Hub. And the second way to change your sensitivity is of course, changing your in-game sensitivity. Right now for Warzone, I'm using a DPI of 1200 and the in-game sensitivity of 2.80. I think in general, you want to be somewhere between 100 to 1200 DPI. And then play around with your in-game sensitivity. The reason why I use 1200 DPI is because I edit a lot of stuff and I don't want to change my sensitivity every time I go from gaming to editing. So if you have a high sensitivity right now, my suggestion would be lower your sensitivity bit by bit and not drastically change your settings. This way, you will be able to adapt easier and you can, let's say, lower your in-game sensitivity by 1 every week and get used to it before proceeding to lower it again until you think you found your sweet spot. Also, you want to go to your Windows mouse settings and make sure that the enhanced pointer precision, or what we call mouse acceleration, is turned off. This will promote muscle memory and constant aim, as it will not make the mouse pointer accelerate based on how fast you move the mouse. So turn off that mouse acceleration, guys. Alright guys, let's move on to our next tip, crosshair placement. Now crosshair placement is one of the most essential things in shooter games. You will see that all pro players master this, and it gives them the ability to one-tap delete any enemy in an instant. So you always want to keep your aim up and aim towards where potential opponents could pop up. So let's say I expect my enemy to pop up around here. So I don't want to have my aim down here on the ground. You always want to have your aim up here, ready for your opponent so that you can instantly shoot them. So for example, when I run up the stairs, bang, I'm ready and can shoot him. As to if I was just aiming on the ground or not pre-aiming where a potential enemy could be, so this would look like this. So I would get caught surprised if there was an enemy right here, if I just ran like looking at the stairs. So always keep your aim up, ready for any enemy to pop up. So always keep your aim up and also practice where the potential head of your opponent could pop up so you can instantly headshot them. Tip number 3, aim for the head. Like in any shooter game, the fastest way to kill your opponent is by aiming for the head. If you aren't able to aim for the head, or in close quarter situations where it's hard to target an opponent's head, you can also aim for the upper body. Again, it's all about crosshair placement, guys. If you practice your headshots, if you practice your crosshair placement, this will make you drastically a better player and a lethal opponent. Later on in this tutorial, I'll be giving you some tips on how you can practice your headshots and your aim. But for now, let's move on to my next tip. Recoil control. Now for the past few months, from time to time, I've been getting accused for using aimbots, scripts, and being asked why my guns don't have any recoil. But when I watch those players who are accusing me of using aimbots and such, they shoot like this. And they say their gun has so much recoil. Bruh. Guys, that's not recoil. That's just pure bad aim. Recoil looks like this. You see how the bullets go up? That's recoil, guys. And if you add recoil control to it, recoil looks like this. See the difference? Recoil, recoil control. Bad aim. Now every gun has a different recoil pattern, but if you get the hang of controlling your recoil, it's easy to control any recoil of any gun. And to be honest, Warzone has one of the most easiest recoils to control than, let's say, other shooter games like PUBG. If your aiming looks anything like this, then you should probably practice your aim or lower your sensitivity. So how to control the recoil? Basically, all you have to do is to pull down. Look at my mouse and see how I pull it down while shooting. Now this differs from every weapon. Every weapon has different attachments and has different recoil. But once you master recoil control itself, it's gonna be easy to control any gun. So just for example, let's try a weapon with the most recoil we can get and see the difference on how much I have to pull my mouse down. Okay guys, so I have the Aimlab with the worst attachments possible for recoil. So let's see the difference between when I control the recoil and when I don't. So let's try without recoil control first. Okay, you see how it goes all the way up. So that's recoil, guys. And now let's try to control the recoil of this weapon. See the difference? Recoil control, no recoil control. Also guys, I've been getting a lot of comments where they say, try this weapon with an iron sight or with a blue dot, it has no recoil. If you're using an iron sight or a blue dot, it just seems as if it doesn't have any recoil because everything is zoomed out. Like for example, when you're filming with an iPhone. If you're zooming in with your iPhone, it gets much more shaky when you try to hold it steady instead when you zoom it out. So the same applies to zoom scopes. So if for example you are using a sniper scope like this, you have to control the recoil more than the ones with the iron sight or with the blue dot. But that's just because it's more zoomed in. So you have to put in more effort to control the recoil since it's more zoomed in. But basically the recoil is still the same. Okay, let's try it with the iron sight and see how much recoil we get versus the one with the sniper scope. Okay, here's our iron sight Aimlab, which others say it doesn't have any recoil. Now let's try our sniper scope and see how much recoil we get without controlling it. See guys, it's still the same, whether using an iron sight or a blue dot. It just feels like as if it doesn't have any recoil because everything is zoomed out and you don't have to put that much effort into controlling recoil. Alright, enough of recoil control. Let's move on to our next tip. Muscle memory. Now basically all of your aiming comes down to muscle memory. It's just like shooting a basketball. It's just doing the same thing over and over again. So to improve your muscle memory, once you're comfortable with a certain sensitivity, stick with it and don't alter it every other day. So you can promote your muscle memory and you can practice over and over again with the same sensitivity and make your muscle memory stick as time goes on. Now for the most awaited part, how to practice your aim. Now this is for Call of Duty in specific, but I'm pretty sure you can also apply this in Valorant, CSGO, and all the other shooter games. So all you have to do is create a custom lobbies full of bots. So what you want to do in Call of Duty, if you have multiplayer, what you want to do is go into multiplayer and create a custom lobby by going by private match custom game, and now comes the fun part. Okay, what you want to do is change your game setup, choose a map. My favorite map is Shoot House for this because it's not too big and you can get into a flow by shooting bots. So I'm choosing Shoot House. Then choose free for all. Then change the game rules. You can change the time limit to unlimited, score limit unlimited, match start time to 5 seconds. This is all good. Then in team, you want to disable spectating, third person spectating, kill cab, disable all these. You can just follow these settings, guys. And also spawn ammo max, disable field upgrades, disable kill streaks, which is important as well. That's it for the free for all rules. Then you can also actually save this by going create custom mode, save the name and the mode description, and you can always pull it up here in mode in my modes, which I have here, like my bot warm up. So let's use that right now. Then here in bots, you want to set it to 11 and make sure you have it at recruit, the easiest level. Why? Because you just want to get into a flow where you can practice your aim, practice your headshots, and where the bots aren't killing you too much. So I usually do my warm-ups here and also practice my headshots here. So let me show you how that looks like. Okay, start match. So here in loadouts, I usually like to use my main weapon in Warzone. So I can basically practice it as it is, especially with the recoil and everything. Let me fix that real quick. Okay, here, got my AMAX. And let's choose my MX here. So all you really want to do is just walk around and shoot these bots and practice your headshot. As you can see, these bots aren't even shooting me that much. You just walk around, get into a groove, try to get those headshots. And this is basically how I practice or warm up. So this is why we chose the easiest bots. So you can just focus on your aiming. Focus on your aiming, focus on your movement. And that's basically it. Shoot House is the perfect map for this because it's not too small like Shipment and it's not too big as well. You can just move around, kill your enemies, and get into a groove and practice your headshots. But if you don't have multiplayer in Call of Duty, what you can do is download Aimlabs. Okay, so here's my Aimlab. So Aimlab is totally free in Steam. So you can download that without worries. Now in Aimlab, you have all these different modes in order to improve your aim. So they have switch tracks, spider shots, fear track, all those different modes in order to improve your aim. They even have suggestions on how to improve your aim depending on your results of every mode. Also, in order to match your sensitivity to your game sensitivity, you can go into settings and pick a game profile like here, Call of Duty series, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone, and change the settings here. So it will match the in-game settings of your specific game. So if you don't have multiplayer in Warzone, I'd suggest practicing Aimlabs, or even practicing Aimlabs, even if you have multiplayer. Okay guys, now the last tip for this tutorial will be play Deathmatch A Lot. Now why Deathmatch? In Deathmatch, everything comes together. Your aim, your recoil control, your reflexes, and most importantly, how to win gunfights. Here you can just die over and over again, just practicing your gunfight skills. This is also a very good way of warming up before playing a couple of Warzone games, so your aim and reflexes will be sharp. And to be honest, Deathmatch is the easiest way to improve in Warzone, as it will heavily improve your gunfight skills. So if you came this far into this video, I want to give you a huge shout out, and if you want me to do more videos like these, please let me know in the comments below. And also let me know what topics you want me to touch on. And if you found the video helpful, please drop a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Guys, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!